It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it is showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. Hey, how we doing today? Hey, it's Wednesday, halfway to the weekend. Spring is like fully here now. It's like finally warming up here in the Carolinas where I'm at. Hopefully where you are, I hear it's going to be warming up in the Midwest and on the East Coast. So I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know, everybody that you like, folks that you absolutely that you love, folks you're not that crazy about, folks you can't stand, folks you hate, strangers, aliens from outer space, I don't give a damn. Tell them all. Must-see TV. Simply the best. Tina Turner had a song called Simply the Best, and it is the Geno Jones Show. So my guest today, in a few minutes, you'll see him on camera. He is running to be the next council person, District 10 here in North Charleston, South Carolina. A brother named Aaron Hicks. So dynamic brother. Got a chance to meet him at a, it was like a panel discussion, group discussion. Brilliant brother, powerful. So when I met him, I said, hey, listen, we got to link up. I want to get you on the show. And then he called me and said, hey, man, I'm going to be running for office. I said, great. We definitely want to give you, we're going to put you on stage and give you this platform so you can introduce yourself to the world and let them know what your purpose and your passion is. But first, let me wish a happy birthday to some Aries. It's because, you know, Taurus is coming up next. And y'all know it, but I don't even have to tell you. You already know. But it's Aries time to shine. Celebrating a birthday today, the one, the only, legendary, iconic. This sister is a legend. She don't give a damn. She ain't taking no stuff. She don't care about the beehive or no hive and nobody else trying to come for her because she's like, I got the receipts and the voice. Stephanie Mills. You know, she was like a teenager. She did the play The Wiz on Broadway way back in the day. The iconic song, Home. Nobody sings that song like Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills is 66 today, and I got a chance to meet her, actually. Her ex-husband and I used to work together way back in the late 90s up in Detroit, Michigan. So happy birthday, Stephanie Mills, my sister. You are truly living legend and icon. And like I said, look good. Black don't crack. She still got herself together. So Kelly Williams. Who's Kelly Williams? Speaking of the 90s, so if you were a fan of the hit TV show Family Matters, you know, it had dude Urkel on there and everything. And as a matter of fact, the TV dad on that show is doing these new commercials now. You see them all on TV. So Kelly played Laura. She was Laura Lee Winslow on Family Matters. She's 47 today. Keegan Michael Key, funny brother. So first time I saw him, he was on Comedy Central, had a show called Key and Peele with his partner, Mr. Peele, who's really a like amazing movie director. He did Get Out. He did Nope. He's done some really incredible movies. Anyway, so Keegan Michael Key, he's a comedian. He's an actor. He was also on Mad TV, and he does one hell of a Barack Obama impersonation. And then he's got a character called Luther, which is like President Obama's like alter ego. And Luther says everything that Barack really wanted to say but couldn't say when he was president. So you've probably seen some of those skits before, but if not, you can Google it. So my man Keegan Michael Key, he is 52 today. So now listen, you've been hearing me for a while. Last couple months, I've been talking about, you've got so many states, politicians, basically this whole MAGA cult wanting to take this country. They say, we want to take our country back and make America great. Basically, they want to take it back 200 years ago. And Florida is like the epicenter. It's like ground zero. So you got Governor Too Short DeSantis. I call him Too Short because he really is. He's a little sawed off. That was a term my grandmother had. A little sawed off. Like they saw his legs off in half. A little sawed off dude. He is like MAGA on steroids. I mean, everything. A 6-week abortion ban, banning books by black authors, don't say gay. He arrested. He has his own election police that was basically going around arresting black people who the state of Florida gave their voting rights back and issued them voter registration cards because they passed a law that basically said if you were a felon, but if you served your time and you did your parole and probation, you were allowed to get your voting rights restored in Florida. So this dude went and rigged it and said they did something wrong. And now all those cases are being thrown out of court because the judge is like, okay, wait a minute. So hold on. So the state of Florida passed a law that said if you went through, served your time, parole, probation, that you would be given basically your voting rights back. Your voting status would return. So you, state of Florida, passed a law. You, the state of Florida, issued these people who you arrested, you, state of Florida, gave them voter registration cards and your law said that they were allowed to vote. So then you had Governor Too Short, which was basically a way to try to intimidate specifically black people and try to keep as many black people as possible from voting for fear that they may get arrested or somebody in their family. So he's doing way, way too much. But especially with this banning books and he is really on some racist, white nationalist, MAGA stuff. And you've heard about I call him Governor Too Short. So I say, because I'll use myself as the quick example. I love South Beach. I love South Beach. Been to South Beach a whole lot of times. But I don't love South Beach that much that I'm going to spend my hard-earned money in an economy that's run by just a flat-out racist, hateful, white nationalist, misogynist, sexist, homophobic politician. I'm just not going to do it. All right? I'm not. My grandmother said, Jenny, don't beg anybody to take your money. And if people don't respect you and your money, then you don't spend your money with them. So while I continue to support the state's economy, and all that's doing is helping to prop up this dude that wants to who's actively already stripped the rights of people that look like me, friends and family. I don't have any immediate family that I know of, but still, I mean, we're all like a community of family, black and brown people and gay, lesbian, trans, gender community, and really poor working class white folks. Because there's like an insurance crisis, so people can't, there's an affordable housing crisis, and there's a crisis with the insurance industry. Homeowners insurance is so high. Even people that's got a little money can barely afford, some of them can't even afford to insure their homes. So Florida's got a lot going on. This dude is busy trying to ban books, and he wants to erase black history or the true history of black folks. So I'm saying, what would really make a statement? Because I said this before. If you can't appeal to a person's sense of humanity and empathy and compassion and decency and true morality, you can get their attention when you go digging in them pockets. So who better to dig in those pockets than somebody like Beyonce, Janet Jackson? So Beehive, this is what I need you to do. Holla at your girl. I love B. Even though I hear these tickets in America, ticket prices is a little crazy. That's a different story. Look, If she can get it and you willing to pay it, I'm saying get it. Now, take that up, Beehive. Y'all can have that conversation. But this is the really important point. Just think of the statement it would make, and think about how. Oh, wait a minute. Let me throw this in there too. Also, Florida is a state that has a plan to ban black fraternities and sororities on public college campuses in Florida. So Florida's doing and they open with it. They're like, listen, we don't want black folks to have no kind of freedoms. Y'all can't vote, no sororities, no fraternities, no books by black authors, no black history, none of that. None of it. But, anybody can carry a gun anywhere, don't even need a damn permit, which is a whole nother story. Mass shootings in Florida. But think about the statement it would, think about the attention that it would get. Can you imagine Governor Too Short if you had artists like Beyonce and Janet? Because Beyonce, as a matter of fact, her tour is going to Florida in August. She's going to be in Tampa on August 16th. She's going to be in Miami, the Hard Rock Stadium, August 18th. Think about Janet. Now, Janet's going to be in Florida next month, April 14th, in Fort Lauderdale, April 16th. She's going to be somewhere in Florida, and in Hollywood, Florida, and I think somewhere else also. On April 19th, she's going to be in Orlando. She's actually supposed to be in Fort Lauderdale too on the 16th, so I don't know how she's going to pull that off. But anyway, so Janet's got like 4 dates in Florida in April, and Beyonce has got 2 big dates in Tampa, playing at the stadium where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play, Raymond James Stadium. And then she's going to play at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. That's where the Dolphins play. So just imagine if Beyonce said, you know what? You banning abortions for women. You're taking away a woman's right to determine what to do with her body, and you're going to criminalize women. 6 weeks, most women don't even know they're pregnant. And you're banning books, and you've locked up black people for trying to exercise their civic duty that you gave back to them, and then the courts had to throw it out. So I am putting it out there and to say, Beyonce, think about it. You and Jay talk about it. Janet, think about the statement it would make, the weight, the power. Because today I did find out that the Florida chapter of the NAACP, they're calling for what they call a travel ban in Florida. Basically, what a travel ban means: don't come to Florida, don't come down to South Beach to party, don't even move to Florida. So now they got to wait for the entire NAACP national organization to vote on it. But I love that. Shout out to the Florida branch of the NAACP. Because once again, the one surefire way to get people's attention and to stop the madness is to start digging in them pockets. So Beyonce, Janet, think about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a quick history lesson because I can hear it now. Well, why should Beyonce and Janet, I done got my ticket. First of all, listen, you'll get your money back if they decide that they don't want to play in Florida. 2, you can say, well, why should Janet and Beyonce and, what about the white folks? Listen, I'm encouraging the white artists to do the same. As a matter of fact, here's a quick history lesson. 1985, South Africa, you had the apartheid government, racist government that basically modeled itself after the Jim Crow laws here in America. So there was a resort called Sun City, and basically like Miami Gardens down there in Florida, where all the biggest entertainers in the world at that time in the mid-'80s and 85 would go and perform. But a lot of these black entertainers and some white entertainers, superstars, who were maybe not superstars at the time, well, they were pretty big then. Everybody from David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks from The Temptations to a Run DMC, Grandmaster Melly Mel, the Four Tops, Bruce Springsteen, Ringo Starr, Bono from U2, Bob Dylan, the Fat Boys, George Clinton, Curtis Blow. That's just a few of them. There's a whole lot more. Came out with a record. We just not gonna play Sun City. What we're not gonna do, we're not gonna perform in Sun City in South Africa until they remove this racist apartheid government from South Africa. And it made a difference because a few years later, apartheid ended. So basically what we have in Florida is a modern day state of apartheid, modern day Jim Crow in Florida with Governor Too Short. So I'm just putting it out there since the Florida chapter of the NAACP is asking for all people to basically don't come visit, don't go to Disney World, don't go to South Beach, don't come to Florida, don't even move to Florida. Because it is a state that is not friendly, it is hostile and even dangerous and deadly to black folks, specifically brown folks, people of color, and the LGBTQ community. So, just something to think about. And Google it. All right, so you're saying, wait, 85? You can Google it. Just Google Sun City. Not gonna play. So 85, we had not gonna play in Sun City. In 2023, we ain't gonna play in the Sunshine State. How about that? Let me bring up my guest. Thanks for being patient. Once again, he is a native son of North Charleston, South Carolina. He is running to be District 10 Councilman. Dynamic brother. Let me bring him on camera. There he is. Aaron Hicks, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Geno, doing well. Honored to be on the show tonight.
Well, listen, thank you for allowing me to, my diatribe, my monologue, but it's just really important, and you are entering the world of politics, so you understand. I mean, even here in South Carolina, got some lawmakers that have already written up a bill that hasn't passed, thank God, to where they want to allow state prosecutors to give women who terminate their own pregnancy for whatever reason to get a legal abortion, they want to give them the death penalty. Which is, what? What are we doing? Which I don't understand, because you are pro-life and you say you want to protect a life, but then you want to kill a life. So make that make sense. So Aaron, you are running to be councilman of District 10 here in the city of North Charleston. So first of all, tell us your story. Give us a little background and tell us what your purpose and passion is to want to run for that seat.
Man, Geno, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be on the show, brother. You know, some people wake up on a Thursday morning and they say, I'm going to run for office. I actually, in my spare time with my team, don't call this a campaign. I call this a mandate. I am born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina, North Charleston to be exact. Grew up on the south end of North Charleston. I lost my father when I was 15 years old. And so I have always been involved in the community. When I was 15, my father died in November. From December to March, I started spiraling out. You know, my mom became the product of a single mom. And in the month of March, I had to make a life decision whether to join a gang or get involved in sports. It was unexpected for me. You know, everybody knew me as the well-known kid in school or whatnot, but there was a lot of peer pressure for me, you know, and so therefore, in one hand, I had a gun. The next hand, I had a helmet. And so I had to make a decision at that point which way I was going to go. And that decision affected my entire life of where I'm at now. I graduated from Garrett Academy of Technology right here in North Charleston, where the former Garrett Academy left in 2007 and went to Benedict College, stayed in Columbia for 9 years, and ended up moving back home to Charleston now, where I actually serve as a lead pastor of a church in North Charleston. Also been doing a healthy bit of community work throughout activism. And so what got me to this point is I over the last, I would say last 7 years, I have been looking at the disparities of how our people, and when I say our people, I mean the residents of the South End of North Charleston has been being treated. A lack of leadership, a lack of voice. And so I started getting heavily involved in the politics side of this. And so one day while being aggravated, I was talking to my mom, and she said, "Well, why don't you do something about it?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Why don't you run for office?" I was like, "All right." You know, and so I thought about it, but one thing I never desired to do was to be a politician. I believe all politicians at some point in time start out as leaders. All politicians, I believe, at some point in time, besides the ones that are homegrown, because believe it or not, you got some individuals that are groomed just to run for office.
Yeah.
Those born politicians. But I believe there are individuals that were natural leaders, and they allowed the title to now become who they are. They allowed the title to become their DNA. They've allowed the position to become their DNA. And so I tell my team all the time that when I get elected, you guys have to continue to hold me accountable to make sure I stay true to the people. And sometimes I catch myself sounding like a politician, and I change the language, you know. So I decided to put my name in the hat for District 10. You got a lot of individuals that are strategically right now waiting to see who's going to run, who's going to put their name in the hat. Honestly, to be honest with you, Geno, I didn't wait because I feel as though whether Obama puts his name in the hat for District 10, if God has it for me to win District 10, I'm going to win it, whether it's the former president of the United States running against me or not. And so I think sometimes we use people's livelihood as a strategic pawn, where people's livelihoods is not a strategic pawn. This is not a chess game. These are actual, real day-to-day life issues that we are dealing with. So I'm a father of 3. Just had a baby girl 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
Got 2 boys and lovely wife Jasmine Hicks. I'm a pretty much open book. My foundation of my platform of what I'm running on is simply to build a better, more balanced, equality district for this south end of North Charleston. The mayor, who's retiring this year, Mayor Sami, in his State of the City address, said in his State of the City address, he said, North Charleston is that place where everyone can live an equal life, where we live, learn, work, and play. I beg to differ. When you come on the south end of North Charleston, you don't see equality. You don't see equality on this end. I will say since 2005, Geno, over 20 years ago, there has not been one grocery store in our district. We are the only district in North Charleston that does not have its own grocery store.
Wow.
The only. And so what they blame it on now is that the area is not intriguing to investors to come. Well, if you're going to make an investment, we have to understand that, watch this, the home front has to be beautified and invested from the home front first. So the city, watch this, the city has not done any investing on the south end in the last 20 years, other than the naval base.
Wow. Wow.
Other than the naval base. The most, watch this, the most beautified infrastructure building that we have in District 10 is the new Teddy Pryor Social Service building. The building where individuals go to stay on welfare.
Wow. In 20
The,
years. Wow.
In 20 years. In 20 years. It's a food desert on this end. In the last 10 years, North Charleston has built 6 new sport complexes. They just broke ground on Danny Jones. That's going to cost multi-million dollars. Park Circle, a 54,000 square feet playground. Wow. But on the south end, we have 5 community centers, and only 1 is active.
Wow. Wow.
1 community center out of the entire area.
So Brother Aaron, I want to follow up. I want to take a deeper dive. You and I, hypothetical, but we can make it happen. You and I walking through the south part of North Charleston, District 10, walking into the barbershops in the community, the hair salons, and we walk in and we encounter, some brothers and sisters like, man, all politicians are the same, and why should I vote? What would you? And they say, okay, Pastor Hicks, how are you going to make my everyday life better if I vote for you? What would you say?
That's simple. I'm going to speak up for you. Currently, I believe District 10 does not have a strong advocating voice to represent our district. So the first thing I will say is, you elected me. You can't show up at every city council meeting. You can't show up at every school board meeting. That's what you're electing me for. So the number one way I could represent you is to make sure that your voice is heard when it comes now time to fight for the equality in our area. You make the charge to vote, as the late Congressman John Lewis said to us. He said, voting is the absolute most powerful weapon that we can have as a single person. And so you make the vote, but it's now my job, and I believe it's my sole job to now go sit on that chamber and fight for all your needs. Affordable housing, better education for your children, sustainable taxes where you can actually afford 10 years from now after you buy the house to be able to stay there. So if I can sum it up, the answer that no matter where it is to be a strong advocating voice for you.
And do you have any plans? Part of your platform is to we look at, you've got Boeing and they're out by the airport, but that area, talking about investment, I'm sure it would be great to invite some companies to come into that community and create some jobs, opportunities, or to support maybe some of the small business owners or wannabe entrepreneurs, allow them to get the capital so they could start and open their business, maybe open up their own grocery store.
Right. So Geno, I say to that, we have to be careful with inviting big investors in such a small area, because what happened is that one word that terrifies most low-income communities, and that's gentrification.
Yes.
All right. That word gentrification is a horrifying, terrifying word. But here's the problem. Most people don't understand the definition of gentrification. The simple definition of gentrification is improving houses and attracting new businesses in the area of which you live. The problem with us is here in Charleston, we've seen it in the city of Charleston, we've seen it in North Charleston, we've seen gentrification with replacement.
Yes.
My desire is to experience gentrification without replacement. So getting companies like a Boeing, getting companies like a Cummings, and getting construction developer companies to be able to invest in the community with the desire to empower and employ the individuals right in this community. We don't need another. We don't need another Starbucks in this community. We need someone who wants to own their own local coffee shop.
Come on now.
In the, we don't need another McDonald's in the area. We need somebody who's going to open up their own smash burger business. That's going to come in and then here, watch this. That's going to employ the individuals right in this community. One of my favorite breakfast spots that I eat at right in my district is called the Junction Kitchen. Local owner, and watch this, all 9 of the kitchen cooks in the kitchen are employed right out of this district.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So that's the key. We need investors, but we need investors that will have the heart that will be like Dr. King says, be true to what you say on paper. Because once I help you get the rezoning of the property that you wanna purchase, because what they do most times, just like they did, and I'm gonna call it out, just like they did in the old Century Oaks. They told, my aunt lived in that community, and they told them at city council, we're gonna move y'all out, we're gonna sell this to this developer, and we're gonna build affordable housing. The cheapest house going right now in that area is $385,000. Affordable for who?
That part. Listen, Pastor Hicks, I didn't know you were a pastor. Pastor Aaron Hicks, I'm glad to know that. And I want, listen, you preach one heck of a sermon, and I want you to let everybody know where they can support your campaign, and let everybody know the date for your election is when.
So we're just kicking off. You can go to my website, www.voteaaronhicks.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms under Aaron Hicks for District 10. And our election is going to be November 7th of this year.
All right.
And so, of course, you can do early vote-ins, mail-ins, or whatnot, but we got to get registered. One thing I'll say is in 2019, the population of North Charleston was 112,000 people. Well, we only had 12,000 people turn out for the mayor, voting for the mayor. So not even 10% of the city voted, And so I'll say this: I had a speech this past Saturday, and this past Sunday, and I told them, whether you live in Mount Pleasant, whether you live in Goose Creek, whether you live in West Ashley, this election year for North Charleston is going to affect the entire Tri-County area. So you need to be talking about this election at your dinner tables, at the barbershop, at the beauty center. This needs to be the trending thing right now in our city. Every time you turn, you should hear somebody talking about this, because people are not. And here's the thing: we as a candidates, we got to give people something valuable to vote for. Yes. People are tired of the same rhetoric.
Yes.
That's why they're not voting. That's why they're not getting registered, because they're thinking it's going to be the same old, same old. So we got to change that stigmatization.
Aaron Hicks, you got a permanent home here on the Geno Jones Show. I want to run it back with you real soon because I want you to talk about, because where you just went was, I was talking about this yesterday with my man AJ Davis, voter turnout, the amount of registered voters, specifically registered black voters that did not vote on the last election, where you had a black woman running for governor, you had a black woman running to be U.S. Senate, and the voter turnout. It's bad enough that we've got people trying to take our voting rights away, but when we've got the voting rights, we've got to use them. And I know you've got a strategy to sign up and get new voters to register, and how to get the people who've already registered to vote, how to get them to turn out. So I want you to come back and talk about that in full. Aaron Hicks, thank you, my brother. May God continue to bless and have favor on you, your family, your congregation, and your campaign.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. All right. Yes, sir. Dynamic, brother. I told you, the brother's dynamic. Very impressive. Thank you. Pastor. I didn't know he was a pastor. How did I not know that? Pastor Aaron Hicks. Listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. You, and especially you. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Copy and paste the link. Screen grab some of the show. Screen grab some of this conversation I had with Aaron Hicks. And you can put it up, make it go viral. Put it up on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Send it everywhere. Send it to the moon. All right. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out on Instagram. Kel be cutting up because Kel be cutting up. Allie Jones is the drip director, the fashion designer, the official wardrobe consultant, fashion designer for the Geno Jones Show. She's on Instagram, on IG, lx.ncl underscores that little dash below, lx.ncl_. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to everybody in my chat room. We got a heck of a conversation. Groove Master Dre, my man, my executive producer, my publicist, PR director, and number one fan, my mother, Mary Dixon. So thank you for the conversation. Feel free, if you're watching me live, you can always join the conversation. You got a question or comment when I'm on camera live. You just want me to shout you out and your coworkers. Maybe you're in the barbershop getting a haircut, in the hair salon, or in the nail salon getting pretty ladies. Then, hey, feel free to jump in my live chat room when I'm on camera, and I'll shout you out on camera, you and whoever else you want me to shout out. So until Thursday, 6:30 p.m. as always, I'm going to say thank you. Be blessed. Pray for peace. See you Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.